Preparations were completed here at KSC's payload processing facilities, assembling the telescopes, performing the proper testing and the checkout. The 3 telescopes include the Hopkins Ultraviolet Telescope developed at the Johns Hopkins University in Baltimore, Maryland, the Ultraviolet Imaging Telescope developed by NASA's Goddard Space Flight Center in Greenbelt, Maryland, and the Wisconsin Ultraviolet Photopolarimeter Experiment developed at the University of Wisconsin at Madison. The simultaneous observations by the 3 telescopes will complement one another. Shuttle Endeavour is poised at Launch Pad 39A, ready for the second launch of the year. All countdown events are on schedule, and the launch team here in Firing Room 3 is not tracking any technical issues that would prevent an on-time launch at 1:37 a.m. Eastern Time. The window extends today for 2.5 hours, or until 4:07. In just a few minutes, we will be getting live coverage of the flight crew sitting down to have their pre-flight meal. The crew has been divided up onto 2 teams, the red and the blue team, so that they can operate in 2 different shifts during the flight for 24 hours of data collection. And here we have the crew of mission STS 67. Here we have Dr. Ron Parise, payload specialist, flying on the shuttle for the 2nd time today. Sitting next to him is Dr. John Grunsfeld, also flying for the 2nd time as a payload specialist. And we have the rookie pilot, Bill Gregory, Commander Steve Oswald, flying for the 3rd time today. Payload Commander Tamara Jernigan. She's also flying aboard the shuttle for the 3rd time today. And we have Sam Durrance flying aboard the shuttle again. And we have rookie Wendy Lawrence, also the flight engineer. Crew will be going into a weather briefing, getting an update on conditions here at Kennedy Space Center and also at the transoceanic abort sites. Then they'll get into their launch and entry suits and ride out to the launch pad, climb aboard the shuttle and prepare for launch today. Countdown clock has remained at T-minus 3 hours and holding. We've got about 9 minutes remaining in this hold. Got about 5 minutes remaining in this built-in hold. At T-minus 3 hours and holding, this is shuttle launch control. Here we have the astronauts for STS 67 on the 3rd floor of the operations and checkout building. And now going down the hallway, going to an elevator. This is shuttle launch control. The STS-67 crew has arrived at launch pad 39A at the 195-foot level. Just getting off the elevators, and they will be walking across the orbiter access arm. See pilot Bill Gregory just giving a wave here. Crew's getting ready to climb aboard the orbiter.
OTC is the ASP. They're ready for the Astro com checks and air ground checks.
Copy. All systems, all conversations on OIS channel 212 during astrocom checks will be heard by the crew. Channel should remain silent except for emergency calls. 607. CDR OTC.
Go ahead, George.
Yes, Steve, you verify each member of the crew is ready to proceed with astrocom checks?
We're all ready. Go ahead.
Copy. Endeavor OTC. During astrocom checks, adjust appropriate volume control, air to ground 1, 2, ICOM A and B, and air to air for comfort. Do not change audio panel switch configuration.
And there copies.
Endeavor OTC. Com check on air to ground 1. How do you copy?
Endeavor has you loud and clear. CDR. CLT. MS1. MS2. MS3. TS1. TS2.
Good com check. We'll be switching over to air to ground 2. TLS is go for OAA retract.
The orbiter access crew arm is being retracted away from the vehicle and into the launch configuration. This arm can be extended in just a few seconds if necessary.
Okay, 5.4 times 10 to the minus 5. Okay, STS out.
Profile test of the orbiter's aero surfaces has started. Orbiter flight control surfaces are being moved through a pre-programmed pattern to verify they are ready for launch. The 3 main engines are being gimbaled and positioned for launch. All systems are go for launch at this time, just a few minutes away from the 8th voyage of Endeavour with a crew of 7 on a 16-day flight to study the invisible universe.
Endeavor OTC, close and lock your visors. Initiate 802 flow, and good luck on your record-setting 16-day mission.
Okay, we'll close them and start the flow. And he's back, Mr. Talon and his boys. Talon knows his spaceship. And if Dr. Hawley doesn't have his bag on yet, would you have to put it on now?
25.
T-minus 20 seconds. Thousands of gallons of water will be dumped onto the launch platform in the next few seconds. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. We have a go for main engine start. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have booster ignition and liftoff of Endeavour on a voyage to view the universe.
Houston now controlling.
Roll program, Houston.
Roger, roll, Endeavour.
Roll maneuver underway aboard Endeavour. The vehicle is now in a heads-down position on course for a 28.5 degree orbit. Endeavour's engines have now throttled down as the orbiter passes through the area of maximum dynamic pressure on the vehicle in the lower atmosphere. Endeavour's already 2 miles downrange from the launch site, traveling more than 1,000 miles per hour.
Endeavor Houston, go at throttle up.
Roger, go, Houston.
The 3 liquid-fueled engines are back at full throttle aboard Endeavor. At the 1 minute 30 second mark, Endeavor is traveling 1,700 miles per hour. The altitude is 82,000 feet downrange from the launch site, 12 nautical miles.
Standing by for burnout and separation of the twin solid rocket boosters. And SRB separation is confirmed aboard Endeavor at the 2 minute 15 second mark. The vehicle is at an altitude of 178,000 feet, downrange from the launch site, 38 nautical miles. Endeavor is now traveling 4,500 feet per second, or 3,000 miles per hour.
Performance nominal.
Roger, performance is nominal.
ATC DPS. Go ahead. Please step 799 complete.
Copy.
GLS is go for ET LO2 pressurization. 10. GLS is go for main engine start.
All vents open. Liftoff confirmed. Copy.
Roll program, Houston.
Roger, roll, Endeavor.
Flight guidance, we see good roll.
Copy.
Throttle up, 3 at 104.
Endeavor Houston, go at throttle up.
Roger, go, Houston.
Performance nominal.
103 converge.
Endeavor Houston, performance nominal.
Roger, performance is nominal.
2-engine Ben Guerrier. Endeavor Houston, 2-engine Ben Guerrier.
2-engine Ben.
Negative return. Endeavor Houston, negative return.
Roger that, Houston, negative return.
Stand by for press to ATO. Mark. Endeavor Houston, press to ATO, select band Jewel.
Press to ATO, select band Jewel.
But welcome to the middeck of the Space Shuttle Endeavour. This is where we spend a lot of our off-duty hours. You'll notice on the far wall, we have some sleep stations installed. This is very important for our flight. We have a crew of 7, and we're up 24 hours a day as we split ourselves into 2 shifts. The red team is asleep right now. The sleep stations provide them with the privacy they need to get a good night's rest. They'll be waking up in a few hours, coming on duty. The white containers that you see Velcroed to the wall contain our personal hygiene kit. In the weightless environment, it's really important to have Velcro around. Otherwise, everything will float. The middeck also provides us with an opportunity to carry some smaller experiments. You're looking at 2 of them right now. One of them is sponsored by Massachusetts Institute of Technology. It's Experiment in Control Systems Theory. We're actually doing some work for a future space station that we're going to develop. The lower experiment is a protein crystal growth experiment, as are the 2 that I'm panning to right now. This is an ongoing research project that's flown on mini shuttles. We found that we can grow more pure crystals when we're up in this weightless environment. Well, let's go see the rest of the shuttle. Oh, here's Tammy. She's taking a break from her work to get herself something to drink. She's actually over in an area that you could call the kitchen or the galley. It's got a means to dispense water so we can fill our drink bags and also rehydrate our food. Most of the food on board is freeze-dried, and some of it is what we call thermostabilized, where all we have to do is throw it into the small oven we also have on board. You can see on the controls on the right-hand side that we have a means of selecting the amount of water and whether or not we want hot or cold. We also have a small oven down below this rehydration station, which Tammy is getting into right now. I think she's going to pass up some food to Sam. He doesn't get an opportunity to come down much since the experiments and the telescopes keep him so busy. That's the only way to do it. Weightlessness is great. Oh, well, I guess Tammy's got to go back up to work. Here, let me give you a better view. Like I said, we have a means of filling up the freeze-dried packages we have on board and a means of heating them as well. And you can see some of the food that's Velcroed to the wall.
You want a Siemens skull? Hang on. Dry one?
Siemens skull?
We can do it from there.
This is Space Lab Operations Huntsville. We're again seeing real-time video from Endeavour from the Hopkins Ultraviolet Telescope, seeing the finder camera image as the telescope is now trained on Jupiter and its moons. We're using 2 of the moons as so-called guide stars. Those are the moons Europa and Ganymede, which the crosshairs are focused on. The actual moon Io, which is the subject of observation here, should be showing up within the crosshairs right in the center of the screen on NASA TV. And of course the large just white disk about the size of a nickel is Jupiter itself, the large red planet of our solar system. Down at the bottom of the screen we can see that we're taking data with the Hopkins telescope spectrometer to try and measure elements that are showing up in the ejection of material by volcanoes on the moon Io.
Hey, Mark. Hey, Houston, I think we're going to, same reason as before, the TAC has taken out all those science things. All those crew preference guys are gone, so there's not going to be any Photo TV 97. You'll be welcome to come aboard the flight deck if you want, but no pre-recorded memory.
Copy, Sam.
Other than the base that we did last night, that'll be the end of that.
Okay.
This real-time video downlink from the guidance system of the Hopkins Ultraviolet Telescope shows the globular cluster 47 Tucani, which is a primary target for this orbit. The stars are extremely numerous and quite bright. Ground operations teams are working with the on-orbit astronauts to determine the precise pointing of the instruments and to make sure that they are targeted, locked onto the appropriate stars within this globular cluster.
Astro Huntsville, we're go for line 41. Detector on.
Huntsville Astro.
Go ahead.
You should be getting Whoopi video now.
And we're seeing it. Thank you.
Okay, John, if you see good act marks, item 6 to recenter. And then followed by an item, stand by 1.
And 3 CJN, Briggs Cheney Middle School. This is WA4SIR. Hi, Nick. Well, it's good to hear you on the air here, and we're ready to talk to you guys. Go ahead. Okay, I copy that now. Yeah, well, you know, when I was in the 4th grade, the Mercury program was in full swing, and I used to watch the Mercury launches. My teacher would bring a TV into school, and I would watch them all. And I got really excited about it then, and I think ever since then it was sort of in the back of my mind that flying in space is something that I really wanted to do. Oh, I think the human race could live on other planets. In fact, I would very much like to see us colonize Mars. I think Mars is a great expansion area for us because it's a little bit like the Earth in the way it's built, and could be built into a planet that humans could survive on pretty well, I think. Space Station Mirror, Space Station Mirror. This is the Space Shuttle Endeavour. How do you hear?
Well, we hear you loud and clear. Go ahead.
Dr. Saggart, I presume.
Well, being the only real English-speaking person aboard, you assume correctly.
I was wondering how your English was by now, Normie, but it sounds like you haven't forgotten a thing.
Можно несколько слов, но я почти помню все.
How are you liking your new home there, Dr. Saggart? You all settled in?
It's not bad at all. It's nice and roomy, and places that are cool and places that are rather warm, so you can migrate to wherever is most comfortable. Is this Steve?
Yeah, it sure is. And actually, the scenery around where I am, I've got 6 other faces, but it looks an awful lot like Discovery did back in '92, Norm.
Well, you know, I figured if we were ever in orbit again, we'd probably be on the same spacecraft. I guess I was wrong.
Well, it's kind of amazing. We've got 13 human beings in orbit right now, and I think that you're just starting off on your big adventure, and we're about to end ours tomorrow. But I think the fact that we've got 13 humans on orbit is signaling that we've got a whole new horizon just unfolding for us here with our joint space efforts. And we're real happy for you.
Well, I'm happy for you. I believe you've had a successful flight. Everyone on board asked me to pass along their best wishes to you. And in the Russian tradition, we желаю вам всяких счастья.
We sure appreciate the words, and we've had just a great flight here. The orbiter's been working just great. We've gathered a lot of ultraviolet data for the guys on the ground, and we're hoping to come home tomorrow if the weather lets us, and if not, we'll just be forced to spend an extra day on orbit.
Endeavour Houston, about a minute to LOS. We'll pick you up on the other side at 2125, and it looks like we have a view of some sort of tropical cyclone sort of system out there in the Indian Ocean. There's a lot of cirrus blow-off there.
Yep, we certainly have some clouds out here, Mario, and I guess we'll see you on the other side of the LOS.
Catch you then.
Huntsville Astro for Rick.
Go ahead, John.
Yeah, the past few acquisitions, the IPS has been pointing, a little bit off, and this one, as soon as we commanded the Astro Star Tracker, it was almost right on with the star view display we have up here.
We're seeing some amazing lightning from our downlink cameras, Endeavour.
Yeah, it's even better with your eyeballs. Quite a picture with the lightning and the sunset. And we got city lights to the east, and I'm sure you're looking at as well.
That's an incredible view. We can see the Cape very clearly.
Astro Huntsville for Ron.
Well, it was a great job. We've got an awful lot of observations and data. IPS performed fantastic. The Astro payload did too, as did the crew. I guess it's time to get close to STO, our orbiting astrophysics laboratory.
Yep, afraid it is. So we'll press along with that, David.
It's a little bit sad seeing this beautiful instrument go to the stowage position.
Well, it's done a fine job for us, and we're real pleased to have been part of the mission, Dave. We have tried to downlink camera A. I don't know if you have TV available. We've put it up on camera A if you do.
Affirmative, thank you. We're getting a great image. Good morning, Tammy.
Good morning, Dave.
Endeavour now being commanded into its first roll reversal. This is a maneuver to bank the orbiter from left to right or vice versa to increase the drag during the entry, thus slowing the airspeed of the orbiter and dissipating the proper energy on the command of the onboard computers.
Denver, Houston, we show you approaching the hack. No change to weather. The winds are 230 at 15 peak 22. That's 3 peak 4 from the right, 15 and peak 22 on the head. We would like a late drag chute deploy just in case we can get the crosswind DTO.
Roger that, we copy.
Endeavour is traveling right now at a descent rate 7 times steeper than that of a commercial jetliner as Oswald prepares to flare up the nose prior to landing. Pilot Bill Gregory has deployed the landing gear. Main gear touchdown. Nose gear touchdown. The drag chute has been deployed. Endeavour rolling out on runway 22 at Edwards Air Force Base to complete a shuttle record 6.9 million mile astronomy research flight.
stop, Houston.
Copy, will stop, Endeavor. And welcome home, Endeavor, after a fantastic record-setting mission. It'll be a tough one to beat, and it sure is nice to have y'all home.
Well, it's nice to be here, Kirk. Okay, Houston, thanks a lot. That should clear the lights.
Okay, Oswald, copy.
Okay, post-landing Delta's flight.
We'll stop, Houston.
No Delta's flight.
Copy, will stop,
No
Endeavor.
Eagle.
And welcome home, Endeavor, after a fantastic record-setting mission. It'll be a tough one to beat, and it sure is nice to have y'all home.
Max flight.
Well, it's nice to be here, Kirk.
Max.
No Deltas.
Copy. No immediate Deltas. He's go to pick up in the post-landing.
Endeavor, Houston, no post-landing Deltas, and your go to pick up in a post-landing procedure.
Okay, GNC flight. Flight GNC. Any other Deltas?
Roger that.
Negative.
End of procedure.
DPS.
Houston, Endeavor, ETM buckle doors are open. You require hydraulic load test.
We would like the hydraulic load test.
Endeavor, Houston, you have a go for the hydraulic load test.
Roger, north.
ET doors look good.